thanks so much. It's good to be here today. And we're going to look at K through 12 science. I'm a science consultant for SAVVAS. And we're going to concentrate on Elevate Science and creating playlists today. That being said, creating playlists is making your planning more efficient and using the SAVVAS platform to do that. And the playlists are located in my library. We talked about this in our last session when we went over the Realize platform. I like to think about my library as kind of being your file cabinet where you keep everything. And the nice thing about the My Library is that it stays with you from year to year. So even though your classes kind of come and go, your data will be taken away after each school year, the My Library will stay with you for the length of the contract that you have with SAVVAS products. So these playlists that you create will stay there for you, and you can use those, year after year. We're going to focus today on kindergarten through second grade. But I want everybody to know that when you're creating these playlists using Elevate Science, or if you're in Miller and Levine biology or experience chemistry, the process is the same. But I chose this time around to show a little love to the K through 2 teachers. And I think, as Chris said earlier today, if you watched his session, or if you do watch his session on speaking about the 6 through 12 mathematics, he put it really well. He said that a playlist is a specified list of activities that are stored in one place. And when we look at the Realize platform, you're going to see that it's this pink area right here where you have the My Library. And you can see that you can upload files, you can add links, you can build a test once you have created your playlist. And that's what we're going to get into in more detail today. And, like we said, why do we do this? Well, we want to make sure that our planning is more efficient and more effective, especially in our crazy world today. So how did I go about starting my planning when I was thinking about kindergarten, first and second grade? Well, the first thing that I did is I looked at the JCPS standards, the curriculum map for kindergarten through second grade. And I looked at the third unit, animal and plant needs, and it's the same kindergarten, first and second grade. And we noticed that those are going to start around February. And then I came over here and I looked at the NGS standards. So I'm using the materials from JCPS to correlate those with what we offer using the Elevate Science program. And then I went a little further, and we can dig a little deeper, and we can look at each individual curriculum map and try and correlate, some of the activities that are happening on the StatusRealize platform with what's happening with the units of study. So when we do that then, and we get into the SAVVAS Elevate Science, we can see that in kindergarten, it's our topic called Needs of Living Things that we're going to be looking at. And when we look at first grade, it would be our topic called Living Things. And in second grade, there's actually 2 different topics. And those 2 different topics would be plants and animals. And there's also one on habitats. And I decided today that we'll look a little closer at habitats. And you'll notice down below, I've listed the NGS standards again, because we want to follow those through. and keep those in the forefront as we're doing our planning and our alignment between the SAVVAS materials and the JCPS units of study that have already been so, well outlined for your units of study. So let's take a look again. Here's our standards that we're looking for and creating the playlists using the SAVVAS platform. So when I look at kindergarten, and we are going to go live in just a bit, but when we look at kindergarten, we, again, just as a review, we're going to see our browse, our classes, our data, and then here's my library. That's what we're going to concentrate on today. And then we see our table of contents. And here's my topic, needs of living things. Well, it's not the first topic, but what I did is I used my rearrange button. And if you didn't see our last week's program, we talked about using this rearrange button and rearranging our topics, and I brought needs of living things up to the top just to make it easier for me to use. So this is the topic that we're going to be focusing on for kindergarten. Right, and then if I open that, I'm going to see that each of my topics is further divided into my topic launch folder. I'm going to have my lessons, and then it's going to close with a topic close. So let's go live onto the StatusRealize platform and take a look at how we're going to create these playlists. So here's my StatusRealize. I'm logged in here and I want to browse my programs. And I wanted to remind you that I can take my programs and I can sort them by grade, subject, and favorites. And I marked some favorites here by putting stars by them. Notice I've got grade 1, grade 2, and down here is my kindergarten. So I'm going to click on kindergarten here. And we're going to take a look at connecting and making these playlists using SAVVAS activities and linking them to the JCPS framework. And again, if you would like to contact me, feel free to email me or schedule some meetings using the Cloud HQ appointment scheduler. There's also information on my Padlet to do this, and I'm definitely anxious and happy to be meeting with you. So let's go into the topic launch folder. I want to show you a few things here. So here's our topic launch. And you can see that we have some quest kickoff. This is a storyline that runs through the topic. And we can directly add this to the playlist. We have a quest checklist and a quest rubric. And again, these will be storylines that build through the topic as we go. So if we look at, let's say, let's build a park, this will be kind of a video that we watch, that the kids can watch. Again, teachers will have to decide whether they want to do this synchronously or asynchronously. And it moves through 3 different sections that the kids will be watching. And there's also a checklist. I want to make sure if we can, we'll see the checklist so we can go through the different parts of what we'll be doing as we move through our topic on plants and animals, building that park. And then down here, we'll have a rubric so that teachers already have a built-in rubric as to how to assess this. We have an EText here, alike and different. And we want to remember that with JCPS, we want to do the reading, during our explain and elaborate phase. So even though this is the topic launch, we want to make sure that we're keeping that in mind, that we want our kids to be doers of science, and we want to log into this EText and have our kids doing the reading more during the explain and the elaborate phase. Okay, and if we sign in there with our username, which we would use in the same username that we sign in with, that will take us out to the EText. All right, now on the EText, few things to point out. This will read to the kids, so we have an audio portion here, and we do have some nice related activities with ELA, so we do have reading checks along the way here. If our kindergartners are not quite reading yet, this will read it to them. Right, let's go back. Another thing I wanted to point out, we do have some teacher resources. I can do a drop-down menu here. So if I wanted to send a letter home, I can add this to my playlist as well. And something that's very unique to kindergarten through second grade is in the topic opener, we do have a song that the kids will learn to sing. Oh, it's a little video. I would play it for you, but I'm not sure, Steve, if our sound on these comes up very well during our videos.
Yeah, you can always play it for a second, but yeah, the sound isn't great unless you're doing that tab presentation. Okay. Yeah.
And then we have a coloring activity that goes along with the sound. So again, in this virtual world that we're living in right now, some of these, we'll have to plan on whether we want to do them synchronously or asynchronously. If it's a worksheet, we have to decide if we want to use that at this time, or if we're going to decide, that's not going to work for us in this environment, or maybe if we're fortunate and the kids are going to come back face to face, then maybe we will use these types of activities. So what I'm going to do to create my playlist is I can start adding these to the playlist. So I can add them one by one by clicking here, or I can click over here and add them simultaneously to my playlist. So let's say that I want to do the quest because I like this particular quest. So I can start checking these, and I definitely would like to have them do the song. And I'm going to add the coloring activity because I like it. I'm not sure that it's going to work in this particular environment, but possibly when we go back face to face. So I'm going to add these now to the playlist, and I'm going to create a new playlist. And I need to give it a title, and I want to make sure that my playlist doesn't get too long. So I might say that this is my kindergarten needs of animals, and I might call it the topic opener. So one thing that I've been hearing from teachers is that the playlists are getting too long. And so I think it's really important. I like to name my playlist according to content so that I can go back and find it, because in science, sometimes we reorder the content. And I might write in here that it's the quest kickoff and the song. And so I'm now going to create my playlist, right? And if I want to go to that playlist, now I can see all of my assignments are in there, right? And they're ready to go. Now I can assign all of these to my students, or I can select some of these to the students. I can also edit this, and I can rearrange them if I would like in the order that I want them assigned. And I can save it. And now I've created this particular playlist. Any questions so far?
No, it looks good.
We're good. Okay.
Thanks,
good.
Chris.
All right. So let's now, I'm going to go back to my classes then. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to browse. I'm going to go back into kindergarten. Needs of living things. Notice again, it's up at the top. And I'm going to, because we're looking at plants and animals, I'm going to go up here to this search bar because I would like to, as a teacher, I'd like a little bit of literacy added to this content. And so I'm going to type in the word vegetables. You can see that I've been practicing. And we're going to give it a second here to search. And these now are all of the activities that come up for vegetables within the programs that we have that sit on the Realize platform. So all of my Elevate Science, Miller and Levine Biology, and I can sort them by grade, etc. And I can see all of these. This is awesome. You'll notice 168 results. But I'm going to go out here to this mosaic by ACT. Oh. And all of my practice came up with a book earlier.
I like that you practice your presentation. It shows you're a pro.
I did practice it. And when I went out and did this, there we go. Thank you very much. I found this book called Unite for Literacy. And it's a book on counting vegetables. And it talks to the kids and it lets me count my radishes and my peppers, etc. So I liked this book and I thought, well, this would be a good one maybe to add to my playlist. So all I have to do is I can copy this. And if I go back here, now I can go to my library and I can add a link. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste that URL and I'm going to add that this is counting for vegetables. And I can add that. Now it's going to come up as a link and I'm going to refresh. And I'm going to refresh again and see if I can get my count. There's my counting for vegetables. Now, if I want to put this inside of my topic opener, I can now click on these three dots and I can add it to a playlist. So if I select the playlist, then if I select Kinder Needs of Animals topic opener, I can click on that and I can add it. And if I now go to my playlist, let's see if it's in there. And there it is, counting for vegetables. So going out there and searching for some other things that I wanted, if I wanted to add a video, etc., that's how we would do that. All right. Let's go into, I'm going to go into here, back to needs of living things. And I'd like to go into needs of animals. We're still in kindergarten. Check my time here. Oh gosh, it's 11:20 already.
Yeah,
all right.
You're doing fine.
Okay.
And if you go over a little bit, don't worry about it. We don't have anything else after you until after lunch.
Okay, great. So needs of animals here. So now we're at the lesson level. I just wanted to show you what the lesson level looks like here. And again, one thing about Elevate Science is it's divided into the Connect, which would align with Engage. For the 5 E's, it would be Engage. Investigate would align with Explore. Our Synthesize aligns with explain and elaborate. And this is where we want to use the EText, which is actually located up here. So just a reminder of that as far as the JCPS frameworks are involved. And then the demonstrate would be your evaluate. So just a little friendly reminder about that. Here, if we're looking at, you know, our virtual world, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to be looking mostly at things that my kids can interact with. So I might choose, like my video, the needs of animals here. And I can click on this and add it to a playlist. Now, this one, I'm going to create a new playlist. And like I said, I like to name mine according to the content. So this might be kinder needs of animals. And it's lesson, this is lesson 2. So I'm going to create that playlist so I know exactly where to find it. All right. And now I can add more to this. So I might look at this You Investigate Lab, and we're going to do some more with this in upcoming sessions. The You Investigate Lab, if I want to take a look at this is something that really allows the kids to explore the science on their own. It makes them the doers of science before we go in and do direct instruction. So I like to look at these because I look at the materials and I try and find maybe some You Investigate labs that the kids can do on their own based on what materials they need. So this one, do all kids have pipe cleaners, scissors, crayons at home? No. So that's not going to be one that I'm going to choose to maybe put in my playlist when I'm teaching virtually. But if I look at this enrichment over here on my teacher drop-down menu, if I have some kids that might need to be pushed a little bit, I'm going to look at this right here, and it's an animal scientist activity, and they're going to read about animals and scientists. So I might have some parents who want to stretch their kids a little bit and are asking for this. This might be something that I want to add to my playlist. So I take a look at that and I say, yes, I'm going to add that to my playlist. And I wanted to make teachers aware that this drop-down menu is available and you can add that to the playlist. So I'm going to select it again and I'm going to do needs of animals and I'm going to add that. And I don't have to go to my playlist yet. Don't really want to do that. Come down here to my synthesize and I'm going to pick my interactivity. We're going to do some sessions on the interactivities. These are fun activities where kids are going to be asked to do like some drag and drops. So we see our little prairie dog here, and I'm supposed to drag and drop like where his shelter is, where his food is. Oh no, that's not food. Wrong, Miss P. There it is, water, etc. So you get the idea of those. Like I said, that's going to be another upcoming session. Love that kind of stuff. And then I might want to do my quest check-in. And maybe I want to do a You Engineer it, but there again, it's an interactivity. So yes, definitely want to do that. Might want to do my quest check-in, etc. And now I'm going to add those. And notice here I have a quiz, and I can also edit the quiz. So this is quite nice because I can go in, and if I haven't done all of the activities, then I can change up my quiz, and I can share those on my playlist as well. So I come back here, and I can add those to my playlist. Let's see. Add to selected playlist. There we go. And I'm going to have to select it again. The kinder. Okay. Add those. And now I'm going to go to my playlist. And here's all the things that I have put in this particular playlist. All right. So I just wanted to make a point of that teacher resource drop down for that. Let's go into first grade. And again, for first grade, when we look at our standards that align with JCPS curriculum map, we would be looking at living things, our living things unit right here in first grade. Again, we have our topic launch, our 4 lessons here, and then our topic close. If I wanted to create a playlist from here, what I could do, let's take a look at plant parts. So I can come into lesson plant parts. I'm going to look at some things here that maybe I would choose. Again, I have an enrichment activity over here that I liked. I took a look at that. I like the video, so I can click on that. Take a look again at the U Investigate Lab and see, is this something that all kids could do at home? Here's an interactivity on plant parts. I like that. And then maybe I liked the quiz, so I can do that. Again, go up here, add that to a playlist. However, I'm going to have to create a playlist because now I'm in grade 1, and this is it's an animals lesson 2. Sorry, I have to create the playlist. One, animals and plants. And 2. Right, and here I could put my standards in. I could write any kind of notes that I wanted to do. That's optional. So now I can go to this playlist and I can see that I have 2 things here. Another thing I wanted to show you is that I can upload a file. So I can bring this in from my computer because I was looking at an activity and I wanted to add a few things. So I wanted to add more pictures of plants and trees. And this is what Chris and I were talking about earlier. If I open this and I attach the file, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you were saying that not all computers can open that document when I save this as a doc. So I can give it a title of pictures of plants and trees. And I can add it. Currently, I have to check this box down here that I have to certify that everybody can use it and I can distribute it. And I'm going to refresh because I just brought it in. You should be able to see it. Refresh it again. Here's my pictures of plants and trees. And I want to put it in the grade 1 Animals and Plants lesson 2. So I'm going to add that to the playlist, select it. Grade 1, there it is. I'm going to add it. And if I go to my playlist, it should be there. But because it's in a document, if I upload a file attached from computer, what Chris was telling me is what I want to do is I want to open this, correct, Chris?
In the chat.
Yeah,
oh, okay. Chris is there. Sorry.
And I put in the chat that it's best to save it as a PDF.
Right. So I would come in here and I'm going to find it first and I'm going to open it. And then I'm going to I'm going to save it. Save as. And then simply here in this, I'm going to save it down here as a PDF.
Very nicely done.
Thank you. He is our tech guru. So now when I do this, I should have 2 of them. So if I go back then to my platform, I should be able to attach from computer. Now I can choose my PDF, and that one's going to work better for the kids. And I can add that one. Oh, title. And then I have to certify down here, and I'm going to add it. And I'm going to refresh. Maybe it came up already. Oh, and look, they're different. That's cool. And so we're going to add that to the playlist, and I can select the playlist then, which will be grade 1. And then when we go to we see them both here. This would be the Word doc, and this is the PDF. All right. Any questions in the chat, or are we doing pretty good?
I think we're doing good. Chris posted that information in the chat for teachers as well.
Awesome. All right. So my challenge to everybody, K through 5, would be to get out there and take a look at those units that apply to plants and animals on the SAVVAS platform and Elevate Science, and maybe to just try and create a playlist, start a playlist, and maybe put 1 or 2 things in it. Just start small.
I totally agree, Kelly. The best way to get started is just to play around with it. As with any technology, when people first try to make a Google form or try to do anything with Google, you just give it a couple goes. Your first playlist might not be the way you like it, but once you get that first one, the learning experience of it, then you should be off and running.
And the beauty of it is you can remove them, you can delete them. So it's not like anything is has to stay there forever. You can go in, you can practice, and you can delete them. So and if you like a playlist, you can just remove certain items from the playlist as well. So you can't go wrong. And if you need help or you want to try creating a playlist together, I'm here to help. Please feel free to email me, schedule a meeting. You can schedule it by yourself. You can schedule it with a professional learning community. You can schedule it with 2 people. It does not have to be from the same grade. We can work in grade bands, K through 5, 6 through 8, whatever you would like. If you're using Miller and Levine biology and you want to do this, if you have lessons that you love, lesson plans, you saw that I had some of the items on my playlist came from a Google Drive. You know, we all have lesson plans that we know are tried and true. You can load those on to your playlist as well. If you're working in Experience Chem and you want to take a look at that, I'm here to help you. So please feel free. Next session, we're going to take a look at some interactivities and maybe get started on some of the You Investigate labs. So that'll be January 20th. Always happy to help.